Okay, g'day everyone, Reece Jack here, just going to run you through a case study on Cameron Smith. This is from a game in 2016, so this is the first day of Origin, and I just want to show you some of the grappling techniques and efficient ways that Cameron Smith in particular uses his body and uses his technique to impact the game and ultimately to have a huge effect on the result of the game. He's a very, very skilled grappler and exponent of jiu-jitsu and wrestling techniques. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of those for you here, and maybe you can implement them in your own game. So here we are at the start of the game. Again, there's Cameron Smith who's going to kick the ball off and get the game underway. And we'll see here from the first couple of tackles of the game. So there's Aaron Woods getting taken down there. And really how Cameron Smith sets the tempo is he gets off the line first. You can see there he's a couple of steps ahead of the guys immediately around him. So he's got Sam Thaiday on his right, Greg Inglis on his left, and he's just getting up out of the line quicker. I mean, he's a smaller guy. He just wants to make that first impact. Okay, so we can see from the second tackle, again, there he is, a couple steps ahead. You can see his hands are up. He's ready to make a tackle. He's got a good body position there. He's facing the ball. His eyes are towards the football, and he's going to make contact immediately with the ball. A lot of what Cameron Smith does is about trying to stop the ball from moving, right? So you'll see there his first contact is with the ball. He wraps it up, and he often waits for the guys around him to to assist or to help him to bring that player to the ground. So we can see as the play unfolds, Boyd Cordner goes to ground. Again, it's an effective tackle. Third tackle of the game. So here's a passage of play about 20 minutes into the game. And I really just want to emphasise here the work of Sam Thaiday and Corey Parker. And we can see here, so Aaron Woods is about to take a hit up. And as he does, it's Sam Thaiday, the player here, who gets underneath him. And you can see he's got a bent spine and his legs are almost in that powerlifting or deadlifting position. Not the greatest angle there, but you can see that angle. Okay, so there's a lot of power that can come from being in that position. And now Sam Thaiday, I don't know if he's a wrestler or not, but he's got very, very good technique in terms of what he does next. So he lifts Sam Thaiday up, moves him over his body and onto his back. And again, he's assisted here by Corey Parker very well. You can see he's got both feet on the ground, very powerful. Corey Parker's put Woods on his back, and Sam Thaiday basically used minimal sort of an effort to lift the player up, put them down, and drive them backwards. You can see that he finishes the play off by landing directly on top of him, putting all of his weight spread across the player's body. So again, he's pinned his hips to the ground, he's pinned his shoulders to the ground. It's just an incredibly efficient, powerful tackle, and a great example from Sam Thaiday. As we let that play, the very next play after this is just as important a tackle in the course of the game, I think. And you can see here that Cameron Smith is the player. Again, he's 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone around him. He can see that Paul Gallen is going to make a hit up, so he gets up out of the line and does what he does. He just tries to wrap up the ball. Now, Paul Gallen is, was at that point in time the New South Wales captain, pretty handy player, and he puts a fend on Cameron Smith and gets away from him. But what Cameron Smith does after that, you can see he's a couple steps ahead. What Cameron Smith does after he's being pushed away is significant. Okay, so you can see as the play rolls on, Gallen pushes him away, and we're in a bit of a tussle here. Okay, so we've got 3 Maroons players on Paul Gallen, and he's very difficult to bring to the ground, and Cameron Smith knows that. Well, what he does is he looks down, he sees that Paul Gallen is going in a backwards direction, and he does something that's incredibly intelligent. Okay, we let the play roll here. You'll see that he sees his foot, and he uses his own foot to trip Paul Gallen backwards. Okay, so a small amount of force, very subtle, and Paul Gallen's on his back. Okay, there's no need to waste a lot of energy in that situation. He basically just used his momentum against him. Okay, just a super effective decision at that moment in time. Now, from that set of 6, New South Wales went on to score, and the score was 4-2. And I just wanted to show this next passage of play for a couple of reasons. The first is the accumulation of these sorts of efforts that Cameron Smith makes, and then how those accumulated efforts can have a huge impact on the result of the game. So you'll see here we're 34 minutes into the game, and the players are quite tired at this point. And here we've got Greg Bird making a hit up. He's taken by 3 Queensland players. Cameron Smith gets to him, and again we're in a bit of a tussle. We've got 3 players on 1. But what Cameron Smith does here is he understands where those 2 players are positioning their energy, and he understands the quickest and easiest way to get the New South Wales player to the ground. Okay, you can see when he enters the tackle, his hips are facing out towards the left. As the tackle unfolds, and he's wrapping up the ball, he's wrapping up the ball first, but as the play unfolds, he switches his hips and he corkscrews Bird into the ground. Okay, so he's switched his hips, he's seen that that's the most effective way to get him to the ground, and used his kinesthetic awareness of the players around him, what the other 2 tacklers are doing, to bring Bird to the ground. Again, super effective, doesn't require a lot of effort, but just being aware of the other players in the tackle and using their momentum and using their strength. Again, the play unfolds. The very next tackle, again, one of the biggest players on the field, David Clemmer, making a hit up here. Again, Cameron Smith is not the most effective tackle, gets on his back, gets the tackle finished. But what he does in this next moment is probably just as important in the case of the game. Now you can see there Robbie Farah is picking up the ball from dummy half. It's the 5th tackle. Cameron Smith's seen his foot and has used his arm to wrap around Robbie Farah's ankle. And it's a very subtle play. The referee doesn't pick it up, but it's enough to slow down the play of the ball just enough so that Robbie Farah gets a slow pass, or the team gets a slow pass out of the way. Again, Cameron Smith knows what's going on in these situations, right? You can see it on the look on his face, right? He knows what's going on. He grabs the ankle. The referee lets it go. New South Wales get a slow pass off. Reynolds gets a kick away. It's a pretty ordinary kick, and Queensland are on the attack. So here we are with 4 minutes to half time. Queensland are now on the attack, and they've got an opportunity to make something of this half. So you can see here that the Blues are, they're a pretty good defensive side. Paul Gallen's a very good defensive player, but there's something that happens here that New South Wales do, which leads to Queensland ultimately changing the game. Okay, and it happens right here. So you've got Josh Maguire here making a hit up. He runs into Gallen. Again, fair tackle, 99 times out of 100, but this is State of Origin. And what Maguire is able to do here is he's able to get an arm free and make an offload. Let that play on. Now you can see he gets an arm free and he makes the offload to Papali. And Papali makes 5 or 6 metres, and that's fine. Okay, but he gets a quick play of the ball, and from that quick play of the ball, Queensland have got some of the smartest players that have ever played the game. They run it through their hands, and Dane Gagai scores in the corner. Now this, is not the end of the world for New South Wales, and it doesn't seem massively significant, but it is hugely significant when you go to the end of the game and you realise that after 80 minutes the score didn't change, and that Queensland ended up winning this game 6 points to 4. And then it's even more significant when you realise that Queensland went on to win that series 2 games to 1. So you've got seemingly insignificant and small plays by one individual or a couple of individuals from a defensive point of view that have the ability to impact a set, which have the ability to impact what happens in a half, which have the ability to impact what happens in the game and then the series. And ultimately, these are a career-defining moves. So there's just a couple of examples from Cameron Smith. Again, he's one of my favourite players. I've loved watching him for years and loved watching him play for years when he was running around. And, that's just an interesting case study, I think, on some of the things which he was able to do. And I hope that they're very helpful for you also in your own defensive work. So thanks very much. If you like, please share this video and please subscribe to Sports Grappling Systems. Thank you.